So I think this is a very important question, and it's one that I could not answer for most of my life. Basically, for some context, for those who are new here, the concept behind this channel is in the same way that you can hit the reset button on a video game and start over. It's like, what if you apply that to real life? But I think it's important to ask the question of why. Why hit the reset button instead of the power button? Why give it another try instead of just checking out? It's a question that I could not answer for myself for most of my life. What I find is that when I hit the reset button, it's because I'm overwhelmed. I have this sense of I don't want to do anything. And I think about when you're physically ill, the instinct is to rest and kind of hide away from the world. And I think that's a good instinct, right? So when you're mentally ill, my instinct is I don't want to do anything. So I chose many years ago to start this experiment, to allow myself to do nothing to the greatest degree possible. There's lots of things I do still need to do, like drink water, sleep, eat food, go to work, shower. But when I don't want to do anything, if I allow myself to not do anything, I find that eventually, maybe it only takes a few hours, maybe it only takes a few moments, maybe it takes a few weeks or months or years, but eventually I will want to do something, because doing nothing is pretty miserable. And so I think of it in terms of like if you're foraging, morels, for example. I learned recently the real morel mushrooms, are hollow, and the false morels are not hollow, meaning they look like morels, but they're actually not, and you do not want to eat the false ones. So it feels like this experiment triggers like a false will to live, this sense of I just need to do something because I can't stand doing nothing. And that need to do something appears as if it's a will to live, of like I need to go live, right? Do something. But it doesn't hold up to any sort of resistance. The instant things become difficult, it collapses, and I'm like, nah, fuck this, I don't want to do anything. And so this is very closely tied to one of my previous videos very recently, about like the purpose of life, or a reason to live, what makes life worth living. That's what it was called. Another question that I've never been able to answer, but I know that I have to. If I'm going to keep living, I have to be able to answer that question. So I've been thinking about that a lot. And it's a little bit late at night. I'm partially losing my train of thought, but I promise it will come back if we just relax and not force things that aren't meant to be. Because this video was going very, very well, and I don't want to start over. So we can just take a moment to breathe and be while I wait for my thoughts to come back. You might hear my dog breathing over here. He's being a very good boy. I don't know if you can see anything. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see what you see. There he is. I got very sunburned today. I was only out there for like half an hour. Anyways, what was I saying? Gosh dang it. I really don't want to start this video over, but oh, right. why bother hitting the reset button? Why bother making this video? Right? It's late at night. I should be sleeping. And I was starting to fall asleep, and it suddenly was like, oh God, I forgot to make my video today. Because I dedicated to uploading videos every other day. And so I need to stick with this daily upload schedule. It helps keep me accountable. It keeps me thinking, right? And that's actually something I was going to talk about in a different video, but maybe I'll talk about it briefly here. That right now, these videos are 1000% for me. I don't give a fuck who watches them, what anyone thinks of them. This is a public journal. That's all this is I am documenting myself, for myself, but then sharing it for all the world to see too. Because if I benefit from it, maybe others will benefit from it too. So like, why bother? Why hit the reset button? And so that's when I had this realization. I was thinking about this because of that previous video, what makes life worth living, and I came up with this concept of a false will to live. And sometimes there can be temporary wills to live, like you can stay alive for a certain purpose. For example, to attempt to try every possible thing to treat the mental illness, the depression, whatever. Like whatever it is that's causing you to feel suicidal, you can, for a time being, not feel suicidal for the purpose of trying to find things that will cause you to not feel suicidal. It's a weird mix. If that makes any sense. What is that? I got a notification for something. I don't want to screw up the recording, so I'll check it later. But hold on, there's still a point that I'm trying to get to, and I'm really not happy with the second half of this video. The first half was going so well. I have a hypothesis that everything boils down to your perspective on death. This sense of either we're all going to die anyways, so why wait? Just get it over with. Or we're all going to die anyways, so do whatever you want. Live your life however you want. Try to have fun, minimize suffering, and just do this shit anyways. And that's my current hypothesis. I think that all of life boils down to just a simple choice. And that perspective can apply to everything. Either the temporariness of life is what gives it its meaning and beauty, or it's what makes it worthless. This sense of like, if this thing is going to die, then why bother? Or because this thing is going to die, I need to make the most of it while I have it. It's gratefulness or ungratefulness, which is very interesting, because actually that, for a long time I've been saying that this experiment of like hitting the reset button on real life has been the only thing that has ever improved my mental health at all. But actually, no, that's not true. Years prior to doing this, I had a little gratitude journal that I also did publicly on Instagram, where every day I would post a picture of something along with a little blog post, like a typed out, pretty long typed out message about something I was grateful for that day. And that helped me too. And I didn't make that connection until just now as I was recording this. That everything boils down to gratitude, or what's the word I'm looking for? for lack of gratitude. There's a word I'm looking for. Ungratefulness. No, there's a better word. But I feel like you get the point. So let's see what happens. Let's hit that reset button instead of the power button. Just give it another go. Question everything. Oh, hello. Oh, whoops. Oh, I was like holding the record button the entire time, and it turns out I didn't have to. I could have. My hand hurts from holding it. I thought by letting go. Anyways, I thought that letting go it would stop the recording, but question everything. Come on.